So Superman eye lasers is an app that I've developed. It's as a side project. I had the idea because I like those laser eye effects that you see where people make them with Photoshop, and I thought for sure there's a way to make that with Canvas and with the web. So it went from being a web app in HTML5 Canvas to being sort of my introduction to React Native. And I have now an Android and an iOS app that uses GLSL to render the effect. Now I use GLSL because, well, there is a canvas you can use for React Native, but in my view it's not the best. And GLSL is just an amazingly exciting tool, which I should have learned a long time ago actually. So this background here is actually made with GLSL, you can see here. So yeah, let's restart it actually, because there's a little animation you can see on starting. This is in the dev environment. So yeah, you get the splash screen, it flashes 4 times. Okay, and you can access the menu down the bottom. I'll take you quickly through that. We have settings, and this will control the spectrum and the spread. And this controls globally all of the lasers on the screen. I'll show you in more detail later because it's better if you can actually see what it's doing. There's also help, and this should be quite useful because maybe it doesn't click with everybody how to actually set the eyes and set the bars, the beams and everything. So yeah, there's a brief explanation on that, how to remove an eye. The header icons, so the icons at the top, the footer icons at the bottom, and the settings icons, what they do. And obviously that's in the settings menu. There's also a link to this YouTube tutorial that you've already found it, so you don't need that. There's a link to a Facebook group. Please, if you're, don't be shy. If you are on Facebook, join the group, add some images, and say hello to me. I'm the administrator of the group, the admin of the group, I mean. There's an Instagram page that's actually handled by a friend of mine. So yeah, she handles that. Yeah, she's a fan of the app. And also there's email support, which is just my email, and I'm really happy to hear about any bugs. Because I want to get rid of them as soon as possible, obviously. So please, if there's any complaints or anything you have, please email me. Maybe some suggestions. Please, yeah, don't be shy. Also a link to the web app there. I don't really recommend the web app for mobile because it just doesn't work as well. But it does have some interesting features which I haven't included on the mobile app. So who knows? Maybe it will be useful for some people. Okay, let's close the menu and let's get started. So we can choose a picture. Let's go with the hipster dude. So let's, whoa, okay, so here we have the main screen of the app. So we have the canvas, we have a header where we can add an eye. I just noticed that it says tap here to add filter. I should rename that to tap here to add eye. So I'll do that as soon as I finish the video. So let's tap it and see what happens. So that adds an eye here. You can see me moving it around on the screen. If I want to delete the eye, it's as simple as dragging up here. Okay, and then I can add a new one. So it's quite easy. And you can see the rubbish bin opens up when I drag it up to the top. Okay, so let's add an eye and let's resize it so it looks a bit more like, so it fits properly. And then we can add a second eye. The second eye has the copied size and color and everything from the previous one. And it's really that simple. If we want to save our image, we can just hit save. And it's a success, your masterpiece has been saved. If we reopen the camera roll, we can see that it reloads and we can see our saved image there. So let's try with the lady now. So we can tap to add the filter. let's give her some laser beams this time. So to do that, we need to use two fingers. One to position the eye, okay, and the other to position where the beam goes. So we can do this, and we can add another one. You can position it any way you want. You can position it like that if you want. Now this is what really separates this app from the other apps in the store. The other apps simply add sort of overlays, and they use what do you call it? Face detection to detect where the eye is, and they add them automatically, which is cool, no doubt, but you lose a bit of customization there. You can't, for example, point them at your friends if you've got a photo with friends in them, or whatever you want. So that's probably how people would normally position the laser beams. Now you have to be a little careful here, because the first press will dictate where the origin of the eye goes, and the second press dictates where the end of the eye goes. So you need to be a little careful, otherwise you'll end up with something like this, which you might like, who knows, but yeah, it's up to you. Okay, so we can save that, for example, and success, it has been saved. Now, let's go into some more advanced stuff here. Let's, oops, I saved it twice. I wanted to upload. Oh, by the way, while you're doing all this, you can always access settings as well. That's permanently always available to you. If you get stuck, you might need to use the app help or something like that. Okay, so let's upload a new one. Let's go with the guy now. Okay, so let's add a laser eye. Let's let's keep it that size so that we can play around with it a little bit. So let's go into settings, and we can maybe increase the horizontal flare, so we can make that maybe 100%. Oh, that's a bit too big. It sort of increases the size. When you change the size of anything in this, it sort of increases exponentially. So you'll notice that if you go like all the way to 100, it almost takes up the whole screen. So you have to be a little, you have to be a little bit sensitive here, where you're probably going to end up, it can go really, really small and really, really big. I did that on purpose so you've got maximum customization. So let's remove the vertical spectrum and see what that looks like. Okay, so as you can see, the horizontal one is big and the vertical one, it's not removed, but it's smaller. Let's actually remove it completely. It's a little hard to get to 0. I think this might be something I could improve in the future. For sure you can get to 0, but it's not working so well, but that's all right. Yeah, that's a fix for me to do in the future. Okay, so we can make an effect like that, and let's add some spread to it. Right now we've got very small spread, so let's make the size of it bigger. So as you can see, the whole image has become a bit more redder, not very much, but a little bit more. If we want more spread intensity, we can increase this, and you can see it becomes even more red. And that can be quite cool if you want that sort of, that sort of aura, that laser aura. Let's decrease the spread a little bit, because sometimes you don't want it to take up the whole image. You want it just around the eye. So we can do that, and as you can see, it's sort of just around the guy's eye. Now, one thing to note here is that these are totally global. So if you add another eye, it will take the same properties as the previous eye's spread properties, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm making much sense here. So for example, if I decrease the spread intensity here, it will do it for both eyes. So these settings are global, really. I think I did that because otherwise it would get a little too complicated and confusing for people. I think this will be unnecessary to need so much customization that each eye has a different spread and a different spectrum. Though
it could be an improvement for the future. You can also change the color of the eye. This is something because with the web app, I've noticed some people really like the blue and the purple colors. So I thought that was a cool feature to add, and it does look cool when there's like two different colors of eyes like this, like red and purple, and the header changes color to whatever eye is currently selected. So if I select this red eye, you can see the header changes to red. Okay, so if we want to save that, we can. We can also obviously make one beam and one eye if we want. You can be quite creative here. And that's it. There's nothing more to say, but if you have any questions at all, you can email me, and I'm happy to help out there. So I hope you have fun with the app, and yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.